questions that you've answered at home that I want to talk about. And we can do this. This is the same way we had a discussion last time. I'm not giving any answers. I'm going to ask the questions, then you're going to give possible answers, and you can decide for yourselves whether you think they're right or not. And you can have your chance to argue about them. Most of the questions that I'm going to ask are going to be the interpreting meanings questions, where you've got to have read the whole chapter and know what happens in that chapter in order to develop an answer for the question. But some of the key parts in the book, I do want to look at some of the identifying facts questions too, because there's some key scenes that you really have to know what's going on and you can't miss any details. So I'm going to try and move through all the chapters that we got, but we never will. But you got to do the best you can. All right. First question is from chapter 12. Move through these by chapter. Cal tells Scout that it isn't necessary to tell all one knows, and that folks are aggravated by having someone around who knows more than they do. Someone tell me, first of all, what situation in the book this discussion arose out of? Yeah.
When they went to church.
Okay. The kids went to church with Calpurnia. What happened? What was strange to them about Calpurnia at that? Why does Scout's, everyday comments about Mr. Cunningham's entailment and what Atticus had done with him and the real estate work he had done for him, and questions about his son, why does that stop this group of men they have weapons, they're there to kill Tom Robinson? Why does her comments, which seem totally off subject, because I think you're right, I think she has no idea what's going on. Yeah. Right. So why does what she says, that situation, stop them? Because there's no threats made. Atticus never, pulls his gun on him, or he doesn't have a gun. I mean, it doesn't do anything to stop them. Why does that comment occur?
Maybe it just shows that kids actually do pay attention to what's going on, and then that did happen, they would never really forget.
What would they never really forget?
If Tom was actually lynched, they would never forget that it's still being played in their minds.
Okay, so you're saying that the men who were there didn't want to leave this memory with these children of what they were about to do. Okay? Any other ideas? Yeah?
They remembered their own children and what they were like at that age, and they saw the innocence in them. That they had kind of gone wild when they found humanity.
Okay, so the presence of those children reminded them, hey, I have my own children. Maybe their brains went along the line, I have my own children. What if they saw this, or what if they knew that I had done this? And you said it kind of brought their humanity back to them. So you think that they were inhuman at a point there? They had lost their humanity?
They'd lost all sense that they had while they were doing it. They just thought of revenge.
All right. Yeah.
Pretty much goes along with it. I agree with that. And Mr. Cunningham, he realized how much Atticus has done for him and stuff. Like his Scout even talked about, didn't she talk about like how Atticus has done stuff for him?
Yeah, she asked about his entailment. She said, how's your entailment going? And that's basically, that's a word she just heard Atticus use, that he had done some work. Remember that Mr. Cunningham was paying him back with, in vegetables and stuff, chopped wood.
She felt, I think it kind of like made him feel guilty for what he was doing, because there was Atticus defending someone else, and he realized, Atticus had done something behind him.
Right, so maybe he was reminded of his obligations, that he had possibly...
He said that he never
Right, maybe that was just reminded of his honor, Atticus has done things for me, and if we try to get Tom Robinson, we're going to have to do something to Atticus, because Atticus is defending. Okay. Anything else that it possibly does? Why do you think, after this whole thing happened, I think it was in the next chapter, Atticus said, maybe we should come up with a police force of children, because he knows, he understands why these men didn't do what they planned on doing. And I think it might have something to do with what you all have been saying. Any other last comments for that situation? All right. Sick to his stomach. And they go outside, and they meet this great guy named Dolphus Raymond. What's up with Dolphus Raymond? What is comes from these guys?
Everybody thinks he has a drinking problem because he goes around like drinking out of a bag,
All right, he drinks out of a paper bag all the time.
but it ends up being Coke.
It's only Coca-Cola. And he gives Dill some to settle his stomach when Bill's sick. And they start talking about things in the trial and other things about Dolphus Raymond, about why he pretends to be an alcoholic. Why does Dolphus Raymond pretend to be a drunk?
Everyone thinks it anyway, so he just acts like it.
Okay, maybe he wants to go along with what everybody thinks anyway. It's useless to try and tell them any different. But it seems like he's actively participating in this lie. Dan?
I think, you know how they said that he has mixed children?
Mm-hmm.
People hate him for that, and he doesn't see anything wrong with it, and they hate him for being a drunk anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And so he figured, I might as well make myself think that they hate me because I'm a drunk, because I don't think mixed children is a wrong thing.
So you think he's trying to fool himself a little bit by saying that he wants to give himself an excuse. They hate me because I'm a drunk, or they think I'm a drunk, rather than that hate me for, you know, the woman I chose to marry.
You
And
might as
have
well
kids
give
with.
him a reason.
Might as well give him money.
I think that he didn't want to make society feel that they should feel guilty for it because they were going to hate him anyway. He thought that he might as well give him a reason to hate him.
Okay.
If he was drunk, then that was a legible reason for them to not like him, his lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
But if they didn't think that he was on a straight path, but he still had mixed children, they would still hate him, but they'd have really no reason to, legible reason to hate him.
Okay, does everybody agree that people hate Dolphus Raymond?
Well, I think that him being supposedly being a drunk, that makes people think of him as not knowing what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
That he doesn't know like his actions, and so that means that like he can do whatever he wants, and just people can think what they want.
Okay, so does anybody remember the quote, or can find the quote where he gives it exactly kind of like what Mary Jane's talking about? He gives them almost an excuse to think what they think. Yeah. Somebody will find the quote while you're talking.
He says it's his excuse is not change because he's afraid of changing. He doesn't want to change his life. He likes the way he is, and people notice that people do better things in his life and stuff because he's able to. I mean,
Right.
he's got a good job and everything and stuff like that. But his excuse for not changing because he says he's afraid of change. He doesn't want to. He likes his life the way it is. And that way, people will think he can't change because he's drunk and that he's got mixed children and he's got a ruined life, so he can't change anyway, even though he knows he can.
So you think it's an excuse for himself?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Okay.
I try to give him a reason, you see, and help folks if they can latch on to a reason. When I can get to home, just tell them, if I leave a little and drink out of this sack, folks can say Dr. Raymond's in as much as a whiskey. That's why he won't change his ways. He can't help himself. That's why he lives the way he does.
Right, so he says, I want to give them a reason. Right. It makes it easier for other people when they look at me and they look at my lifestyle to just explain it away that he's a drunk.
Yeah.
So it sounds like from that quote that he's not giving himself a reason. He's saying, I give them a reason for thinking this way. It makes it easier for people who are looking at him to understand his lifestyle. Because I think from looking at that, you can say, the people in this town, they don't want to confront the idea that this is a perfectly rational human being who chooses to love a woman who's black. They could not accept or understand that. And he might have a whole lot of problems if he didn't give them a reason.